Hello, it's Susan Wright, still a Rick Perry supporter. Um, I suppose you've all heard by now that the governor has suspended his campaign. Um, really upset about that. I was, I'm devastated, and a lot of people are. A lot of people are hurt because we believed in this man. I still believe him. I've stood by him and believed in him since 2011. I continue to believe that he is the best choice for our country. I haven't changed or wavered on that one bit. So, yes, for our country, I mourn that Governor Perry felt he had to suspend his campaign. Um, he may still come back, and if he does, that's what I would personally like. Wait till some of this reality TV sideshow mess clears out, and you can have an actual campaign. Because right now it's not worth being in. Our nation is doomed if you know people don't get their heads screwed on straight. But that being said, I'm not gonna mourn any longer. I'm upset, but I'm also encouraged. I'm encouraged by what Governor Rick Perry started. Um, Psalm 127:1 says, unless the Lord build the house, the laborers labor in vain. And unless the Lord guard the city, the watchmen keep awake in vain. So basically, if the Lord is in it, then it's going to stand. And I have no doubt that the Lord was actively involved in Governor Perry's campaign. I know he is a man of deep faith. He expressed that at the We Stand with God Pro Family rally, and it was genuine. In his speech where he suspended his campaign, I thought, for a while there, I was in church and you could feel the spirit of the man. And, the man is good. What some folks don't know is that Team Perry, the volunteers and the field reps, those working for Governor Perry through this campaign, began a prayer campaign as well. And I don't know if other candidates have that. They should. For that matter, we should pray for all of them for their direction. But still to this day, Team Perry is carrying on with our prayer meetings, you know, because we believe in prayer. We believe in the foundations of this country that were built on Judeo Christian principles. And Governor Perry, he believed that too. Now, one thing I'll say about Governor Perry, he was the most accomplished, most qualified candidate in the race. He still is. Whether he stays out or, if he chooses to come back into the race at some point in time, he's the most qualified. And it's a shame the most qualified had to be the first one out. And that's to the detriment of our country. Um, Ed Wheeling wrote for Red State calling Governor Perry the standard bearer, and that's true. The Hill, not exactly a conservative beacon, wrote a story called The Importance of Rick Perry, and enumerated everything he's done to spread the cause of Western conservatism beyond the bounds of Texas through the rest of the world, and he did. And it's amazing. No matter what Governor Perry chooses to do, his legacy will go far beyond the 14 very successful years as governor of Texas. Um, like I said, really upset, desperately, desperately wanted him in this race, desperately wanted to see him all the way to the White House, because I know there's people saying, well, I'm telling you that we're praying for Rick Perry and we've been praying for Rick Perry. And there's going to be people who say, oh, well, it must not have worked. Well, unless you're a true believer, that's not going to make any sense to you, I guess. But here it is. While in our very limited, myopic perspective, we see the White House as the ultimate goal. We're praying for promotion for Governor Perry, and promotion, you would think would be the White House, and we were that way too. We thought the White House was it, and then he didn't make it, and we have to ask ourselves, did God not hear our prayers? Did we not pray enough? Was once or twice a week not enough? No, 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 no. God heard every syllable of prayer spoken from honest hearts. He heard them all. But we can't say right now, we prayed for promotion and advancement for Governor Perry. We can't say he hasn't been promoted in advance, because God's perspective is from a bigger perspective. We see the White House as the ultimate. What does God see as the ultimate promotion? I imagine like the very most ultimate is to receive our reward in heaven before our Father. But here there's a role for people to play. And there may be some bigger role than just the White House for Governor Perry. The man is certainly qualified to lead any movement, and I feel like he started a movement with these people, these prayer warriors, Team Perry, we call ourselves, who are still meeting, who are supporting each other. We're leaning on each other, and we're praying, and we're sharing stories, and it's great. It's just this really awesome, inspiring thing, this fire in these people, people, just these strong voices for the governor and the character of the man, like Jamie Johnson in Iowa, Eric Corcoran, who is a blessing. He's such an inspiring, hope-filled Christian man. It's hard not to get really up listening to Eric speak. You really want to jump in behind this cause listening to Eric, and I appreciate him for that. The We Stand With God rallies, and there's another one coming October 17, 2015, in Raleigh, North Carolina, the Halifax Small Governmental Complex, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Governor Perry was a part of the first one in Columbia a month ago. I was there, and for a lot of people, the heart of the governor was on display. You saw his passion for the values that this country was built on, religious liberties, and the family. And it's hard to deny where this man's heart is. He said that the conservative movement has always been about the message and not about the man. And that's the heart of the man there. This was never about Rick Perry, but it was about conservatism and pushing the American way, for us, these things that help us grow as a nation and bind us together. And God has a plan for him that he marked him for from before he was born, and he has that same plan for all of us. All of us have a role to play. It's up to us to step into it and to say that very hard thing, thy will be done. Not our will, Lord, but yours. That you guide us and you push us forward and you take us to that goal. Place our feet on the path that we can walk out what you have made for us, what you intend for us, that we can be with the right people at the right time to do your will, Lord. That whatever happens through this, it be for our good, but for the glory of the Lord. That the Lord be glorified in this. And I think in Rick Perry's life, God will be glorified. He's already been glorified on the steps of that state house in Columbia, and will be again, because of things that people like Perry have stood for and pushed. And maybe that's his role, or maybe his role is done and it's time for him to go back to Texas with that beautiful wife and those kids and grandkids and just rest. And if that's the role, if that's where he feels the Lord's leading him, then let's let what the Lord has set in place be. But if there's something else, then there's no doubt in my mind we'll see him again. But right now, I want to speak an encouraging word to Team Perry and to anyone who feels that this nation is lost. It's not. A movement is coming. I feel it. We've been praying for revival too, and that's coming. And take heart. Take heart. James 1:2-4 says, "Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance, and let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." It's rough. We're hurting. We're hurting for our candidate, and we're hurting for each other, but we have each other. We haven't lost it. We've got bonds built. We've got a family built, and let's operate in that. Let's operate in that. Let's not worry about the things that we think went wrong. Let's not point fingers and say who didn't do what. It's not worth it. Just take heart and know that something has started. Can you feel it? I can feel it. I want you to feel it. Governor Perry had he brought us together, and we should stay together, and we should really carry this thing through, see where this movement goes. Don't give up. Take heart. Hold on. I'm not going anywhere. We'll meet again somewhere. And wherever you are, Governor Perry, you see this, thank you. Thank you for what you have done for the cause of conservatism, for what you have done for this movement that's rumbling, this grassroots, God at the core movement that you helped begin. We'll see you again somewhere, whether it be this world or the next. In my Father's kingdom, we will meet again. Thank you.